to your bonus love reading, okay? Especially if you are of the sign Cancer, all right? You are getting a bonus love reading right about now, okay? And we know the Cancers out there, they love to love. There you are, right? Let's see. So, I want to make it too bright, but if I do show the cards to you guys, I want you to be able to see. Yes. Okay, yeah, I just need to check my frame here so I make sure to. My camera is a little different right now. So, anyway, it was a very interesting moon out earlier. It's a quarter moon waxing right now. So you might have a waxing love interest, okay? Something upcoming. Who may it be? You may ask. Maybe you're like, yeah, right. But if you did manifest a new love, this definitely could be for you, okay? Anyway, let's see here. What do we have very soon? It says, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Okay, so if you did your new moon manifestations, maybe this is coming to pass. And if it's presented to you, you're going to have to make a decision, okay? Life is a big part about decisions. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So, collective, this could be somebody that you definitely want to express an interest in or with or to, okay? Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. I was just literally, I should have said it right before I pulled this card because I was just saying this could be somebody at your church, where it's one of those things where you've met them there or like on some kind of retreat or, maybe yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily be religious based, but like maybe it was like wellness or health based or something where you met this person. So it's kind of like, since you have that mutual bond of interest, it was like, okay, well, there's it sparked something there. Okay, yeah, ooh, passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Okay, so maybe this person's going to make you very happy, collective. Isn't that a nice bonus love reading? Okay. Now, if you're asking, where's the love reading for so-and-so? Well, I did one for Gemini several readings ago. So do go check out the live tab or the community post for information about that. Okay. You deserve love. It says, yes, you are lovable. Okay. So, Cancer, sometimes, and yeah, you could have had somebody deceiving you, and that could have put a little, it was like taking the cart through the mud puddle or getting stuck in the mud, and you're just like, maybe this love thing's not going to turn out, right? But here it's saying you are lovable and somebody wants to express this love to you. This could be somebody that you are close with due to some kind of circumstance where it is a part of your path, a part of your purpose. It's not where it's like, oh, you went there one time and now you're going to go back there for the, whatever. Um, yeah, anyway. And yeah, you may want to express how you feel towards this person as well. Okay, yeah, and I'm getting a lot of activation around the throat chakra. Okay. Um, the karmic reading that I did earlier um, today was a lot about some chakra energy. Okay, so if you're resonating with this, that may resonate with you as well, but that is more talking about the karmic energy. Okay, and but this over here, collective, is may be connected. It's just what I want to say. Okay, so just as what has come out here. So, and again, there was this deception on the bottom of the deck. So let's go ahead and, since it's going to be, yeah, let's get this Lover's Oracle here and see what some of the messages from this person are happening. Okay, what kind of things are in the energy right now? Okay, remember this is a bonus love reading, and if it's not resonating with you today, it's just not your story. Don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. Okay, it could be happening to somebody around you. Oh, goodness. Sorry, y'all. I'm starting to get a little sleepy. Had a busy day. Yeah, this person desires you in a romantic kind of way, okay? So, with this very soon, and this person could be wanting to approach you with this. Oh my gosh. Okay, it says here childhood trauma. Okay, so that could be part of the reason why it says here express your love. Like maybe you or this person have a difficult time. Yeah, and I just got that in the throat chakra again. So there might be some communication breakdowns that have happened due to childhood trauma. I'm not going to say what kind, collective. And I was also getting the message earlier that, not everybody needs to know everything about you. You know what I mean? So, it's up to you how much you want to reveal. Okay. And, don't let the culture of, other people's oversharing be something that you have to live up to, right? Because some people are you trying to make you reveal things in order to manipulate the situation. Okay, so just be aware of that. And that might be more tied to that karmic energy that was in just the previous reading. Okay, so if you're like, oh, I don't know who you're even talking about, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, this might be not be happening to you right now, currently, because maybe you're coming out of that karmic, but this is more, on a brighter path. Okay, just warning you if you haven't hit this yet, this might be, a learning lesson for somebody. Okay. And some people think because you've gone through the same thing as them, that means that you're going to have the same viewpoint of life. And that's the interesting thing about this religious factors, because collective, I feel like this is not something where you were raised in such and such environment. It has to do with more like this is how you found to live going forward as an adult. Therefore, it's your path, and this person should be on the same path. Okay. Yeah. So it's part of your boundaries and how you want to live your life. You are too nice. I don't deserve your kindness. Yeah, okay. So this person could be noticing that, yeah, you hold yourself in high esteem, um, good regard, where, somebody who hasn't healed themselves from their childhood trauma is, maybe they act out as an alcoholic or as a gambler. like excessive gambling anyway. Things like that where, oh God, what is that song? Is that by Hosier? I can't remember. Anyway, it's called Too Sweet, right? And he's saying like you're too sweet because I don't get up till like 3 and I'm just getting my coffee like in bed. You know what I mean? Like I don't even want to get out of bed for my coffee. And it's like probably his girlfriend's bringing it to him. He's thinking like, oh God, she's gonna be brokenhearted when I end up screwing this up type thing. That's kind of that self-sabotage type thing, right? And so that's why I'm saying that this is these religious factors, this boundaries collective that you have is a result of living and learning, okay, not a result of well my mama said or blah blah blah. It's because this works for you, okay. And whether that be in the framework of a meditation practice, a spiritual practice, a religious practice at a church, whatever works for you. Okay. So, if that's cramping someone else's style so much, right, that they can't even be kind to you, return your kindness, is that somebody you want to be around, collective? Ask yourself this question. Okay. You know, um, yeah, Jesus surrounded himself with some questionable folks, but a lot of those people actually wanted to believe and had faith. Okay. All right. Because he wasn't the first healer or, magician as they used to call him back in the day, right? And then like what they have in the Romanov or whatever the pre-Kremlin days over there, they had the I can't remember Rumpelstiltskin or what was that his name? Uh, yeah. Anyway, um, I can't remember the exact name right now, but it's just like collective. Some people will um, kind of do what they're told, right, without thinking critically, right? And it's like, oh well, because I grew up with so and so, like that's the one that I have to go to, right? And collective, you may have gone down a different path, whereas this person has not stepped out of that box yet. Okay, is kind of what I'm getting, even though they have this passion for you. Yeah, it's all too much. It is here. I think there's a song like that, a Beatles song. Yeah, so this person I feel like is having a hard time handling this passion in their day-to-day life, like, because it's like they don't know how to express it, because you're not with them, basically. And again, this was um, the first card that came out here. So, you know, that's not hard to understand, right? So again, this person could be operating on a lower frequency and maybe they still haven't graduated, right? Out of that because of this childhood trauma, but if they're not healing it, collective, yeah, see, it says, I can't come to you now. So I feel like they're still in the process of figuring this stuff out. Okay. Yeah, it says here you deserve better. So some of this collective I really do think is this karmic. Okay. Well, I feel like this is a different karmic energy than the one previously. It could be the same one, to varying degrees. Okay. Um, because yeah, we all do things that aren't like necessarily in our best interest. That's how we live, live and learn, right? Um, let's go ahead and get the Rider Waite and clarify with that. Okay. So, thank you for joining the chat. If you're in the chat today, please do be kind to others that join the chat. Feel free to subscribe or like the video. Remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video today, but your support does help pass the messages around and is the 100% free way to support the messages and the channel. So if you resonate with what you hear, give us a like. Feel free to check out any of the other 700 plus videos that have been uploaded. Many of those can be considered timeless. Okay, it all depends on where you're at in your journey. We all go through different things at different times. When you build those trains, right? It's like, okay, you start with the one circle, the one loop, right? Kind of like this here. Okay, you start with the one loop, right? But then there's another loop, so there's a crossing, okay? And then there's, do you know what I'm saying? Like, collective, you're allowed to make your own opportunities. You don't have to follow the same path that everybody else has been following, even though you're using that path in essence, right? It's like the movie Pulp Fiction, right? Where they start out and then it goes to this scene and it's like, okay, is this in chronological order? What's going on here, right? I feel like that's how somebody else is looking at your life right now. Queen of Cups. Yeah, collective. I feel like you could have had kids early too if you're a mother in this situation, resonating, watching this reading. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Again, this is a bonus love reading specifically for Cancer. And here's the Queen of Cups that came out, the very first thing. And Cancers are often mothering type energy. So if you do have kids, I wouldn't be surprised, if you're watching this reading. Okay. Oh, look at that Empress again. The mother of the tarot, literally. Okay. So she knows how to heal, right? Again, this healer energy. Okay. So for some of you collective, you may have overcome this childhood trauma as well. Maybe not in the same way as this other person we were talking about earlier, right? But still enough that you have mastered a certain energy where others will come to you for advice. Okay. Oh my God. You see this? The High Priestess. This is like the hits just keep coming. I'm also getting strong Pisces energy off of this. Okay. So this High Priestess religious factors, I don't know if any of you took a vow of celibacy or something, but you may just be kind of keeping to yourself in that manner, okay? Where you might be in some kind of there's like monks that go like weeks without talking. They take like vows of silence and stuff. And I'm not saying anybody's doing this to this extreme, right? But collective, you might not be actively seeking anything right now. And maybe it is because you're on this spiritual path. Okay? So if you're watching this and you're like, I'm not necessarily looking for love. Well, maybe love is just going to come find you. That could be part of the message why you're watching a love reading right now. And the thing is, here you have Queen of Cups, Empress, and High Priestess. Are you not ready for love when you have all that? What else do you want? Yeah, yeah, nine of swords. Yeah, this person's passion, it's kind of like driving them nuts a little bit, where they know you're a catch. You know what I mean? Like eventually it's gonna work out with whoever, right? So, you know. Okay. So last card here. Oh my god, I'm so sorry guys. Oh my god, Scorpio, death card. Yeah, so with this I can't come to you now. Yeah, the whole now or never type thing. Yeah. Temperance card. I feel like you've been patient enough where you do deserve somebody who's going to show up for you, collective, and you know exactly what that's supposed to look like. And the unfortunate truth, the inconvenient truth, right, of the situation is that some folks just were not trained to really treat others with that level of respect or dignity. And some of that is not their own fault, but it's just, it's harder for them to practice it, right? And that's why they're a bit karmic, right? And that's why you got this, you deserve better, even coming off of them, right? Because even though they've kind of like tried and failed, you know, they realize that you still deserve success, right? Even if they're not the ones. And they realize that giving you anything less is you're not the one to try and do that. You're like, no, I'm not compromising. Again, getting back to, you know, the religious factors, you know, it could just be a matter of your boundaries. Like, maybe you're somebody you're like, oh, yeah, I'll go out on a date with you, but I'm not going to like sleep with you on the first date, right? Like, you know what I mean? Collective, like, you have like some you know, it's, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of folks that have gone out and had their hookups and had their fun and, you know, do things like that. But at a certain point, there might be like, you know, there's no validation in that, right? So collective, I feel like that's why you've been very patient. Okay. Um, yeah, King of Wands here, like, but you're not so patient as to wait for the wrong one. Okay. Yeah, and that could be part of the deception here is especially with this King of Wands, it could have been presenting himself as something that just was not, right? And the fact is here that you have a lot of opportunities. Okay, so if for some reason you feel like you don't deserve love, you actually do, and it says so right here. So put a stop. Okay, this is why the death card is not necessarily bad. Put a stop to the negative thought of you not deserving love. How about that? You know, maybe start saying it out loud to yourself, I deserve love. Say it in the mirror to yourself, right? Be bold, be brave. Okay. Record it on a little video if you have to, right? And then watch it back to yourself, right? As a little pep talk in the morning. Okay. All right. So Scorpio, Sagittarius again, Cancer energy here with the Queen of Cups, and then I was getting Pisces with High Priestess. Empress is typically Libra called out in the tarot. Okay, so you could have some of these signs aspected in your chart as well, especially if you are a Cancer. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, this, you know, take what messages resonate, but this is more of a Cancer focused love bonus. Okay, for this month, since it is their birthday following the Geminis. Okay, so now we are actually in summer. We've hit the solstice, and now we are going to be speeding through to the end of the year, right? Except, oh yeah, we're still in the fun times of summer, right? So all of these things collective can happen, right, in their own good time. Nothing really transpires overnight. Okay. Um, but at the same time, collective, be ready for the good things to come to you. Okay, so maybe that's something else that you need to put a stop to, of thinking, oh, nothing good ever happens to me. Say, today something great is going to happen to me. Like it can be as easy as that. Just one, what does Peter Pan say? One happy little thought. Okay. So allow yourself that grace. Okay. So, if you are stuck in traffic next time or whatever, and it's just like, okay, remember just for a moment, like what you were thinking about that gave you that joy, that gave you that lift up, right? And say, where was that person at? Right? And then you remind yourself, oh, yeah, I'm right here. Okay. It's so easy for us to get lost in a moment, right? And that's where some other folks are trying to like handle that energy, where it could be causing some restlessness. Okay. So if you're feeling some of that, okay, it's kind of like, because when we just had our new moon, right? And now we just hit our quarter moon. So, especially if you're changing habits, right? Maybe you're on you could be on a new sleep schedule, right? And then it's like, if you're on this schedule and they're on that schedule, and it's like, oh, when are you actually going to see each other, right? One of those deals, right? And then it turns into maybe a bad decision. Okay. Again, well, maybe we need to stop thinking that it's going to be a bad decision, but it could be, right? We don't know, right? It depends on your situation. But, definitely for somebody, it could be that way, where it's like they don't have it together enough, to be barking orders like they're the boss or something. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so Cancers, that is your bonus love reading. So happy birthday to you. Until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.